Hello. Hello. I'm just getting myself situated here. I usually say the word situated like situmated because I think it's funny, but then it almost appears as if I don't know the real world. So, hey, Marietta, I just saw you. Just warming stuff up here, including myself. So if anybody feels like they're on a bumpy road because my camera's going wonkata wonkata, do not worry. It will stabilize momentarily. There we go. It will stabilize momentarily as I get my what do you call it? My camera stand conveniently put up on the yoga block that I usually put it up for. And the reason I do that is so you can see the road trip behind me, okay? So let me just warm up and get the computer going so I can make sure on the secret page that I'm showing up where I'm supposed to be. But since you guys are here, like Penny Lou Magoo and Casey, Texas, and Sunny, and Judith, and Who's Your Mama? Yeah. And Judy, nice to see you. LGV, good to see you, that one persona. Shannon, yay. Awesome. Okay. So here we go. Good stuff. I am, as I hope you are too, going to do a quick scan from my crown on down. The crown on down is tired, so many declutter errands yesterday, says Laura GV. And I say to that, hey, good for you for doing the declutter errands, and good for you for noticing that those things will take energy, that you may not recuperate like immediately. Like the overnight sleep is definitely the number one thing to make you feel better. But sometimes that overnight sleep may not get you back to where you were yesterday as far as energy goes. So noting that and planning your day accordingly. Now I will admit, I will share. I woke up this morning feeling pretty good. There we go. Kristen is saying, my world is a skating rink. When you skate a figure 8. I got to get better at that one. But Blossom Dearie, Multiplication Rock is brought to you by Nabisco. Okay. Rochelle, nice to see you. Kat Roby's in the house. SBB. Well, not in the house. Not in my house. She's in her house. This session is The Laundry. Episode 1, The Laundry. 0 is finish email, though. And then 1 is clear top of machines, right? So good morning, and I see German Maid as well as tuning in. A lot of familiar names to me, which I think is fun, especially because I'm bad with names. But also I want to give a hail and hearty welcome to everybody who is new here, everybody who's just kind of in doing their thing and scrolling, as I do. Through your TikTok, and I may show up on your FYP and I'm going to throw out some keywords here. I'm a decluttering life coach. I'm a Gen X decluttering life coach, and I help you kind of organize your home, your head, your heart, all that stuff. Now, Melissa is saying I keep freezing. I don't know if that's happening with everybody. It looks like from my point of view here, Melissa, it does look like a good connection on my end, Yeah, I love it. Kat Roby is already correcting me instead of I'm bad with names. Notice, we all do this. Especially because I'm getting better all the time with names. Thank you for coaching the coach. I love it. That one persona is saying, getting home a little later than planned, but that's okay. The week starts when I get there. No big deal. No big deal. I love it. So let me think. My name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach, and my coaching is called Destination Decluttered. I do these TikTok lives and YouTube lives almost every day, Monday through Friday, occasionally on the weekends. And I am here to help you if you're feeling about clutter, because I am wicked good. I was not always this way, and I've gotten better about clutter, really better with clutter, so much so that I coach people to help them have an uncluttered home in head and heart. But I'm here to just hang out with you for the next 55 minutes to help you with your clutter, okay? So I'm trying to get better at, I'm going to correct myself. Kristen says, you're so generous with your time. Many thanks. You're welcome. The best thing you can do to repay me for my generosity of my time, because yeah, I do this. I'll be completely obvious. I will be completely transparent. One of the reasons I do these is to help you. Yes, and my thought is that if there's somebody out there who is is ready for some help at the next level, aka one-on-one coaching, and they see me and they notice how I interact, and this is how I coach. Like, my one-on-one coaching is not much different than how I coach here in public. So this is, to me, helping people feel comfortable saying, if I would like a one-on-one declutter coach, she seems like she could help me. So this helps other people. This helps me too, by getting what I do out in front of people who may pay me for what I do one-on-one. But also, I know that not everybody is in the position of paying for a one-on-one coach. So I just don't want to gatekeep all the good stuff for the people who happen to have money. I want to share all this with everybody. And the best thing you could do to repay my kind of act of kindness is to spread it, to use it yourself, to embody and take what I offer you and show me that it works by using it, and then giving me feedback like, hey, what you suggested worked and I love it. Okay? So yay. And I don't mind being generous. I feel good sharing my abundance of knowledge and experience and wacky jokes. I don't know. So there we go. Now, so German Maid says, yesterday I got all porch decor put away. Oh, crap. That's right. I was going to straighten out our flag. Here, give me a sec. Hey, Babu? Yeah. When you get a chance, can you straighten out our flag, please? Sure. Thank you. I don't want we have a, like an ally, a Pride ally flag outside the house, and I want to make sure it's waving proudly. I noticed that on my walk. So, German Maid said, I got all porch decor put away yesterday. Check. 15 loads of dog towels washed. Checked and folded. Checked. Folded deserves its own check. And check other chores done. Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay. So, before we jump into the comments, and this is where I suggest you think about where you're stuck. And I noticed that Lake Life Lady has put in something, and zip it, reverse it. I am getting much better at making sure that I share the 4 steps that I think really help me. And I say 4 because it's like in order from top to bottom. So I'm going to give a minute or two to just put this on this TikTok Live, because this TikTok Live will be uploaded to the Destination Decluttered YouTube channel. And I want to make sure that anybody who tunes into the recording of this at least knows 4 steps that they can do to help them with their decluttering. And I am practicing doing this thing I want to get better at organically every day that I do a TikTok Live here in the year 2026. 4 steps. Number 1 is always going to be starting with your physical human body, because if you feel crappy physically, everything else is going to be affected by it. So this is where I like to use the word down during these 4 steps. And so if you want to hydrate really quickly this morning, every time I say a down, you take a sip of water. Do not chug it, just sip it. Make sure it goes down the right pipe. Okay? So 1, from the crown on down. You're wearing a crown, and I like a rhyme, so from the crown on down, rhymes help you remember things. Do a scan and see, hopefully everything is lighting up green, like green means good. If anything lights up and starts blinking red, take note of that and then do something to fix it. This morning I woke up with a little bit of a headache, so I took an Excedrin. I knew I wanted, my nose was dripping, so I wiped it with a tissue, and obviously right there my hand. Live TV, what can I say? So number 1 is always going to be, and this is just at the beginning of your day and throughout the day, how am I feeling physically? Am I hungry? Get something to eat. Do I have to pee? Go pee. Are my feet cold? When you are feeling better and more relaxed in your physical body, you will do better with the next steps. Now, the second part that's in your body that you may not be as familiar with identifying is kind of where are your nerves? Your nervous system. Okay, number 2 is always going to be, and I used to call this calming down the nervous system. And for a certain extent it is, but sometimes people get judgy when it's like, don't calm me down, I'm feeling good. So I want to say kind of settle down your nervous system. I'm trying that, okay? So what I say is if your nervous system is all up here, if you're like overwhelmed and chaos and freaking out, blah, being in that state of mind and nerves ain't gonna help you do anything else. So what we do is we practice calming down, settling down, slowing down, breathing down. Shoulders down. Maybe you do the same thing, crown on down, but instead of physical, you think nervous system. Relaxing the muscles down in your body. Quieting down how you speak. Slowing down how you speak. Maybe you lower down the tone. You look down. You slow down. You relax down. And then you repeat that again and a couple more times. And as long as it takes you to do that, to feel better nervous system-y. So instead of all up here in chaos, you've kind of settled down. You know, instead of all up here going like, I'm all freaked out. And can you see all those bubbles? Notice it will take a little bit of time for those bubbles to settle down. Even when I just did that, my shoulders just went chunk. They went down. When you feel less bubbly, you're going to do better with the next 2 steps and everything else that follows. Okay? So take some time to settle down your nervous system. And then the third down is going to be writing down. Now, already people have been writing down things in the comments. And if I have not been team get yourself a notebook today, then I will remind you. A plain 50 cents to $2 notebook from Staples or wherever with plain lined pages. Get one of these. Flip it to the back. Yeah, okay, Nana Joe. Notice that was a lot of sips of water. This is why, if I were writing a book about this, that section would be called A Wicked Lot of Downs, because I'm from the Boston area, and there's a wicked lot of downs there. But yay, you may know, and Nana Joe, do not be surprised if later on in the TikTok Live, you may find yourself living in a cardboard shack. No, you may find yourself walking to the bathroom. It's okay. Writing down in the back of your notebook, whatever comes up in your head. What are the thoughts in your head that are kind of swirling around like spaghetti? Dump them down like a colander and straighten them out just a little bit. Just write them down. So, quick recap. Crown on down, nervous system, all the downs, writing down, and then chunking down. Okay, those are the 4 steps that I will be referring to throughout this. Okay, so do not be surprised and use it to help you. Okay, so now that being said, I'm going to take the tea bag out of my teacup so I don't get all whatever. And Lake Life Lady had mentioned, I need help with clothes. Clothes. Destination Declutter Clothes. Noticing, and I'm just reading the description and kind of ad-libbing a little bit. Closet full and not much to wear. The wear 20% of clothes. Okay, so what I want to offer to this is, notice this about your clothes, but also this can extend to other areas of your home where you have a bunch of stuff. Now, I like to chunk things down into categories. So you've done this already. Clothing in my closet. So notice that, Lake Life Lady, you are already doing the chunking down, and you are noticing I have a closet full, but yet within that I have the category of clothing I wear is very small. I'm wearing 20% of the clothes in my closet. So therefore, I would get curious, Lake Life Lady, so I can help you, is what are some of the categories of the clothing that comprises the other 20%? What 1 or 2 or 3, no more than 3, I'm thinking, categories could you describe the clothing that you're not wearing? Okay? Get curious about that, and please Write this down yourself, Lake Life Lady. Grab your notebook, grab your pen, and write these notes to yourself. Destination, decluttered clothes closet. Decluttered clothes. Destination decluttered, boom, boom, clothes. And then write down on that page, what are 3 categories of clothing that you're currently not wearing? Okay? Now, interesting Patty. So Patty is saying, as Lake Life Lady writes that down, Patty is saying, I realized that if I declutter, there will be empty rooms in my house. I don't need all this space. And I was just filling the space. Okay? That is a really good discovery. But I want to offer to you this, Patty. Yeah, noticing that we have more space than we actually need at this point is a good observation. The other thing, though, too, is I want to talk about the word empty, because empty, to me anyway, has kind of a slightly negative connotation. My gas tank is empty. My life is empty. But I'm curious, Patty. Will those, notice that the empty may make you feel, and I'm not saying it does, but to me, empty has a slightly negative connotation, and anything that has a negative connotation might make you feel bad. That word in your head may make you feel bad in your heart. But notice as I do that with this hand, this other hand is like, but wait a minute, there's a line here. There may be another word that you have that you could substitute. You could copy out, you could draw a line through empty and replace it with something that gives you a little bit more of an encouraged, positive feeling. Okay? Because I will say, Patty, I'm thinking, I could be wrong, ain't never been to your house before, but I will say that those rooms that part of your brain is saying empty, the reality is I bet there's still some stuff in it. Maybe it's a guest room. It's not an empty room with absolutely not a stitch of things in it, but it is a guest room with a bed and a nightstand and a lamp, stuff like that. Empty may be negative, so I would say this. I have space to do what I want to do. I have space to spread out. Ooh, that hurt right there. I did yoga yesterday. And notice this, the difference between empty and I have space to do what I want to do. It's the same room you're looking at, but the story you're telling yourself, depending upon what side of the line you're on, what side of the fence you're on, gives you a different feeling. And that different feeling is going to lead you in a different direction. Okay? So, there we go. So I offer to everybody, play this game at home. Play this game at home with yourself. Please notice, and sorry I don't know the word daughter, well you say daughter in English, that's how you say daughter in English, right? Okay, so Lake Life Lady says, I think I'm emotionally attached to my clothes. All right, so Lake Life Lady, write down one of your categories is clothing that I am emotionally attached to. I hope you've written that down in your notebook. So notice this, everybody playing along at home. Is there a category of clothing? Maybe this will be the clothing episode. I just decided that we'll focus on clothing. Do you have a category of clothing where it's clothing I don't wear, but I'm emotionally attached to? I know I do. Now, I have gotten better at this, so I endeavor to keep things that I can wear and am emotionally attached with. Yeah? Okay. And I offer to you, that's okay, because there's 3 levels of clutter. Okay, so 3 levels of clutter. Surface clutter, stored clutter, sentimental clutter. So right now in clothing, in a closet is where you store your clothes. So right now we are dealing with level 2 and level 3. Because in that storage unit of your closet, there is a category that is your sentimental, the stuff that you have emotions and stories attached to it. Notice that Mommy Salami is saying, yes, I do, and most of it doesn't fit anymore. So to me, Mommy Salami, that's two categories. You have, and I'm thinking, I could be wrong again, ain't never been in your house before, that with under the umbrella, and notice what we're doing. We're doing step 4 of the chunk, we're chunking it down. You've chunked it down to sentimental clothing, I'll just call it. And there's a subset of yours that is sentimental clothing that doesn't fit anymore, and a sentimental clothing that does fit. Okay? So notice Grandma is saying, yes, I do. I have sweaters my grandma made. Notice that the difference between having sweaters that I bought on, at a Goodwill and sweaters that my grandmother made are going to require different thoughts and feelings. Right? And Grandma is saying, I don't wear them, but I can't throw them. Okay? And I'm thinking you're thinking throwing them away. And here's something I want to share with everybody. Please note that between the thought of, I don't want this anymore, when you make that decision, please immediately do not associate with, when I don't want this, I need to throw it away in the trash. Okay? Notice right now, actually, Kara is chiming in about her journey through her clothes. And she says, like, hey, I have several pieces of clothing I need to list. Okay? So Kara is showing you that there are many steps, there are many stops along the way that you could take instead of throwing it away. Because notice that throwing away feels ugh, so you're hanging on to it, and yet you're not wearing it. So Kara is offering, she has clothing, and she has 3 different things. She's going to list it. Now, Kara, as we know, because she shows up a lot, Kara is selling stuff actively on Facebook Marketplace and eBay. I have clothing to list is a category. But she's also heading to the dump with some things that she has decided she's throwing away. So dumping is part of it. And she is going to Savers. Now, those of you who don't know what Savers is, it's like a thrift store. So there's donating, there's selling before you even dump stuff. Yeah. Okay. Now notice this. Cat Mama's going through this with herself, and she's noticing, I've got work scrubs that have some tags. I want, and I love that phrase, cat shelters. I want volunteer cat shelter after my boy leaves. They could wear it there. Right. So she has an idea of, I have these, I don't want them anymore, and I feel good about, and I'm, ad-libbing what you said here, I feel good about donating them to the volunteer cat shelter. I want to help you. I am here to help you feel good, or at least better, about the decisions you are making, about the stuff that part of you in your brain has decided you don't want anymore. But there's another fear-based part of your brain that's afraid of doing the wrong thing. And that's what's holding on to the stuff. Okay? So notice that. Now I want to back up because I'm pretty sure I saw something about Patty. Okay? Filling the space. Doodly-doo. Space to do things with, but I won't use all the rooms anymore. Okay. Now, I would say, how does that thought make you feel? If that thought makes you feel good, keep it. Yay for good thoughts that make you feel good. Keep the thoughts that make you feel good. Notice the thoughts that don't make you feel good. They make you go, oh. And maybe do something about that. Change the thought into one that makes you feel maybe not good, but a little bit better. And I do this all the time, kind of up here. I've gotten good at this up here, but a lot of this, I would say, grab your notebook, go to a clean page, fold the page in half, and write down on one column thoughts that make me feel sad and thoughts that make me feel better. And practice, what's the word? People are asking for help with it right now with Real English. Practice translating your unhelpful thoughts into rephrasing them, reframing them, there's all sorts of words, into something that makes you feel better. So to me, and again, to me, this is my personal opinion, I'm kind of professional, is Patty is saying, I won't use those rooms anymore. If that makes you feel bad, what I would say is, I won't use all the rooms anymore with the frequency that I used to, and that's okay. They will not be a room I often go in, but when I go in there, I can use it for something, and that makes me feel better. Or it could be like, you know what? I won't use all these rooms anymore. Maybe this is our opportunity to like move to a house that's smaller that we love. That would make me feel kind of good, because even in our modest one level, barely 1,500 square foot home, we could easily knock off 500 square feet of this and easily, happily live. I always thought it'd be really neat if somebody did a time-lapse heat map to show how little of our houses we use and how much of it would just be cold. Kind of like going back to our topic of the day, which is clutter in clothing, which is noticing that the heat map of your closet, there's 20%, there's this little section right here that you use all the time, and then there's 80% of it that's kind of not as hot to cold to, I haven't worn it in years, but I can't throw it away. Okay? So practice chunking down, calming down your nervous system, writing down where you're jammed up, and then continue to write down and chunk down. Do the work on paper. Don't try to do it up in your head, especially if you're trying to learn this. Think of times tables back in 3rd grade. It helps you to do the work on paper. Doing the work on paper is also got 2 bonuses. Writing down has 2 bonuses. Notice where I'm showing you my physical hand and a pen, because this gets your body involved, not just up here going boop, boop, beep, boop, like your brain. It gets your brain and your body engaged in the thought process. And it also gets your body involved because you will use your eyes that look externally down, and you can see, literally and metaphorically, what's jamming you up. And when you can get your body involved, it calms down the nervous system. And when you calm down your nervous system, that can kind of shift gears out of fight and fear and flight and fawn and all that. And it shifts gears into another part of your body and brain that kind of wakes up and unfolds and says, hey, I'm here to help you. I have some answers up here if you just listen to me and write them down. Okay? So, notice. And Mommy Salami is offering, it's been proven that writing it down improves your memory. I also saw something on TikTok, so you know it must be true, from somebody else who said, writing things down helps with brain fog. Now, I'll be honest with you, I didn't even hear the term brain fog until I started going on to TikTok Live, or TikTok in general. So I even asked when I went to my doctor once, I was like, what's brain fog? And she's like, yeah, like when you can't think of words or you can't remember things. I'm like, oh, like so living with a human body brain that's aging? And she's like, yeah, pretty much. Okay. So notice, if you're fearful of forgetting, you write things down, it calms your fear. If you want to build your memory muscle, you write things down, it helps your memory. If you want to clear the fog, you write things down. Yeah, menopause completely brings on brain fog too. And that's why actually the doctor that I mentioned it to was my OBGYN, because then I started taking some HRT, hormone replacement. And I've been told that it helps with brain fog. Notice how even in this TikTok Live, I'll be honest with you, notice how I have paused and stopped and had to wait a moment to find the word I was looking for. That's okay. I don't think, oh shit, I have brain fog, I'm losing it. Sometimes I do. But I'm like, I trust that if I slow down and stop and pause and quiet down, that the word I was thinking of will come to me, or a word that's good enough to use. Okay? Now, reconstructing the room into something you enjoy. Somebody says, or user 6833 says, I turned my daughter's room into a yoga studio. And yeah, sometimes our brains are in overload too, says Damn it, Donna, all the frickin' time. our brains are in overload. Picture this. Picture the amount of information that is your brain is assaulted with on a daily basis here in the year 2026. Even go back 100 years. No, even go back 50 years. What year would that be? I'm afraid to ask. Would that be 1976? Is 1976 50 years ago? It is. From here to only 50 years ago. Heck, let's go back 25 years. Now I'm going to do the math. What would 25 years ago be? Okay, 2001. No, let's go back to 1976. Even 50 years ago, we didn't have the internet. We didn't have the internet in our cars. We didn't have the internet in our pockets. We had a television, a newspaper, a TV, a radio station, and I don't know. That was about it. There were far fewer channels of information. Books, okay. So there are far fewer things, and even those things were not the 24/7 cycle that we're used to now. Okay? So I just share with you, yes, we live in an overwhelming time. That's why I say with authority, decluttering is a freaking life skill, people. Yeah. Yes, the bicentennial, totally the bicentennial. Oh my God, I am transported back to 4th grade. Okay? It is not surprising that your brain cannot keep up. The human body and brain evolves so much more slowly than the exterior world. I am here to help you cope with and effectively deal with the overwhelm that our society is creating in your human body. Okay? So, and I love it, the bicententical, that's awesome. So, what I want to offer to you is this. All right, tuning in, Kat Roby is using this chunk of time. And I've already been here a half an hour, so I'm going to introduce myself again. In case there's any new people scrolling around, my name's Beth, Decluttering Life Coach, at your service, okay? Decluttering Life Coach, coaching called Destination Decluttered. Destination like a road trip, destination like travel, destination like, I don't know, sounds like fun. Destination Decluttered here on TikTok, Destination Decluttered on YouTube, where I will be doing another hour-long live at 11 a.m. Eastern today, so like in a half an hour, and Destination Decluttered on the internet, destinationdecluttered.com, okay? I say the .com one because if you're interested in knowing the times and dates of my TikTok lives and YouTube lives, that's where you go to do it, but you need to share your email address with me too. Now, Lake Life Lady says, when is the next party? I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know. I don't know, but there's a good reason why I don't know, okay? Before I get to that, though, I want to make sure I'm taking care of my people who have been kind enough to share things in the comments, okay? So I'm going to go back to my folks. And that one persona wants to share. Going through sentimental clutter isn't easy, and it's okay to deal with the big sads for a little while and take a break to reset. 100%, my friend, yeah. That's why if we go back to the 3 levels of clutter, the easiest to the least easy, easiest is going to be surface clutter. Laundry, dishes, stuff on the kitchen table, mopping the floor, any of those horizontal surfaces, for the most part, easier than dealing with the stored sentimental clutter you have. But just because it's not as easy as the surface doesn't mean that's not doable. But it will take you to possibly feeling some big sads for a little while. So it's important to take a break and reset. Okay? So notice that. 3rd level of clutter, deepest, you can still do it. Yeah, and actually I will say this. Cat Mama is saying join the mailing list. I'm thinking Lake Life Lady may be on it, but I want to give an update because this happened yesterday. And Cat Mama and some of you probably don't look at the secret page as often as I go to make sure it's up to date. We did 2 declutter parties this past weekend. And what I want to offer is if you had looked at the secret page, even earlier yesterday, you would have seen tentative weekend of, and I need to look at the calendar here to make myself sure I'm looking at the right thing. You would have seen tentative declutter parties on the 17th and 18th. They were tentative because there was a 5% chance that my husband and I would be able to go on this last minute trip to a music festival. So I held space for that hope, that fun. And lo and behold, not just lo or behold, lo and behold, that 5% panned out. Yeah. So we will be going to that music festival that next Wednesday to Monday. Okay? The reason I share that with you is because that was a bit of, I want this to happen. And we totally threw it out to the universe. We threw it out to a group of people who might be able to help us get there. And we took little actions, little baby actions that we thought might help us get there. And not all of them panned out. We only need one to pan out, and it did. So as of yesterday at this time, I wasn't thinking I was going to the Riviera Maya. Now I am. So there we go. So that's why there are no declutter parties scheduled right now for the weekends. But I will offer to you, when I think of them, I will do them. But also, you can have your own declutter party. All right? So Laura Gibbon Voorhees, this is fun. This is fun. I love it. Yes, actually, I'm going to back up. Damn it, Donna loves retreat, regroup, reset, all the A's, like reading, writing, and arithmetic. I love it. Kat Roby says, I'm compelled to take a before photo. Oh my gosh, that's the step I even forget to do. Please take a before photo. Okay? Yeah. Marietta says, I have a goal. A goal/destination. Destination, my house decluttered so we can move to Ireland. Notice, house decluttered and destination Ireland. I love it. I'm here to help you with that, Marietta. That sounds wicked fun. I'd love to be part of your journey. Let's do it. Why not? Who doesn't want to move outside of the U.S. at this point? Okay? So take a snapshot of where you are now, but also remind yourself of your destination. Destination, move to Ireland. One of the things you do along the way is declutter your house and sell it and decide what you want to bring with you over to the old sod. I love it. Notice mine was destination sky blue sky. Now this is fun. Laura Gibbon Voorhees. Hold on. Give me a sec here, please. There we go. Just so you know, I just blocked the troll. We get very few trolls here. But this is important for me to remind you that this right here that just happened is why I share the really good stuff only with people who have shared their email addresses with me, aka the email group. The group of people who have said, here's my email address. I would like access to the good stuff. That keeps a lot of the trolls out. Okay? So this is fun. Laura GV says, I already finished what I assigned myself for this hour. Notice she thought it was going to take herself an hour to do something. How long does it really take? Less than you think. So now she's on to the next one. Go, Laura, go. I love it. So that one persona says, I just took a picture of our half bath before I declutter it, and I'm going in. Now, I would recommend this. I love the before and after pictures, but I even jam myself up with not remembering this. It should be on my checklist, but I haven't really put it there. The thing that is so cool about having a kind of taking a picture of the before is two things. One is that you will notice different things that bug you in a picture that you may not be as aware of in real life. Now, I know this professionally because I used to be a visual merchandiser back in the day for Filene's, for Mikasa, for Pier 1. I used to merchandise my own shop when I sold mid-century stuff. Things can look good in real life, but you hold up a camera and it changes things, okay? So notice that a picture may reveal something that you don't see kind of with the naked eye. So it's a really good thing. The other thing is too, is as you make progress, even modest progress with your decluttering, your brain may already have forgotten what it looked like at the beginning. So when you're done, you may look around and go, it doesn't look like I made any progress at all. But if you have even put one stitch of things back where it belongs, or in a donation bin, or in a pile to sell, or in the trash can, you have made progress. So I say this to everybody here who has taken your before pictures. At the end of your decluttering today, take an after picture. It may not be your done picture, but it's going to be your progress picture that shows your progress. And then here's the interesting thing. That after picture becomes the before picture to guide you in the next time that you declutter. Okay? So yay for picture taking. All right? Yay for Samira saying, listening to you and decluttering. Awesome. Samira, I'm going to be here for the next, on TikTok, for the next, it just changed, next 18 minutes. And then we are decluttering. We're going to do the same thing. As I like to say lately, I guess I've been singing Henry VIII I Am. Second verse, same as the first. We'll be doing this exact same thing, but on a different channel, which is Destination Decluttered on YouTube. Okay? Now, Maggie is offering the thought, and I'm going to put little air quotes around it. There is no value in selling China right now. Is that necessarily true? And I would say it depends. Okay? Notice, if I would struggle less, she knows, if I knew someone would use it, I would have less of a struggle in letting go of it. Notice the struggle, the fear that somebody's not going to use it. Okay, so Maggie, if your China is not something that other people want to buy, but you still want to know somebody would use it, are you comfortable giving it away for free to somebody who says, oh my God, thank you, I would totally use that? Oh my gosh, that'd be so great. I love that China, but I can't afford it. But if you give it to me for free, I will love it and call it George. You're I love when people give themselves like the clues to what would reduce their struggle. Right? Yeah. Just saying. And yeah, Kat Roby, I will always be championing other people who are helping us all do good stuff. And Kat Roby says, also great for how long did it actually take? She started at 8:32 a.m. She waited 3 weeks and she's like, stay tuned. I'm going to see how long it really... Yeah, go, Kat, go. I love it. I love it. So because we're already hitting kind of the quarter of mark, and I used to do radio and in college radio back in the day, I'm thinking I want to do like a station ID. So really quickly, my name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach, Destination Decluttered. Think road trip, think travel, think Destination Decluttered on TikTok, on YouTube, on destinationdecluttered.com. Okay? So Maggie says, yes, rather than dumping it off at a thrift store, but I will even offer this, Maggie. I have been absolutely delighted. My life has been so improved by things that other people have dumped at a thrift store. Now, you don't want to dump China. It's going to break. If you lovingly and with care hand it to the people at the thrift store and tell yourself the story. I trust, and this is what I tell myself every time I drop something off to the donation to the thrift store. I choose to believe that somebody who's going to love this is going to connect up with this on the other side of this wall of the thrift store, because it has happened to me. Thrift store, 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 thrift store. Or occasionally like, antique store. But even things that came in an antique store, people who put things in antique stores often shop at the thrift stores. Look at how many people I never met in my life have made this section of my home look and feel good to me. So notice where you have a judgy feeling about dumping something off and nobody's going to appreciate it. Do you know how many cool people stop at thrift stores? Right here. And many others. Okay? Now, Nana Joe is saying, I'm surprising how little time it took. Didn't think I could get it all, but she said, I'm surprised at how little time it took. Yay! Our brains are great for creating ideas. They are like the art department in the factory of in the company, in the business of our lives. Our brains are really good at creativity. Parts of our brains are creatively great. But what we struggle with, and this is why we need kind of external, almost admin, which is timers and clocks and writing things down, like office supplies, is because part of our brain ain't so good at figuring out how long something's going to take. We underestimate, we overestimate. So knowing that your admin team is not as strong as it could be up here, that's why you give your internal admin team some tools. A clock, a calendar, a notebook, a pen, a camera for taking pictures. Help your admin team and your art department create the art known as your home and life story. So I love it. Alrighty. Laura GV is offering you're rehoming something that you love. You're giving it a good home. All right. Now Sunshine says, when I'm looking for the push to get started, I look to see if you have a live. Here I am. And I'm only here on TikTok for another 13 minutes, but I'm already going to get the Destination Decluttered YouTube live kind of teed up, I guess you would say, in golf lingo. Today is 1/6/2026. Wow. And it's going to be 11 a.m. Eastern. YouTube live. Okay, so I'm going to take a moment and do this. As I do this, I'm going to go through the comments that people have put on so far. But I realized one thing that it's been kind of fun for these last couple of days, so I want to try it again today, is to almost have a mini theme about decluttering. And we started out today's TikTok with having it be the clothing issue. Okay? So let's round this TikTok live out with any questions you have about decluttering clothing. Put it in the comments now. And I will answer as many as I can, so they are captured on this TikTok live that is going to be uploaded to the Destination Decluttered YouTube channel. If there are more than we can answer, what I highly recommend is hopping over to Destination Decluttered on YouTube in about 11 minutes. Retype the question, because when you retype the question in the chat over there, it actually carries over to the recording, and ask it again and we can get even deeper into it, okay? But for the moment, we're going to be just getting the soft landing spot. So when we shift over, we have a place to land over at YouTube. It's going to start at 11 a.m. And I'm going to take a goofy picture here. So let's see. What could I make? How can I make this goofy? I don't know. I like a goofy picture. Actually, I'm going to move it over here. Oh, pardon me, you guys. Just going to make sure. There we go. Scrolling. Oh my gosh, what's wrong with my mouse? Okay, close enough. And this is also giving you time to go check stuff out. So, okay, retake photo. That looked goofy, right? Okay, and that's going to be ready for us when we go over to 11 a.m., okay? So, I love this. That one persona, I do the same thing when I am donating. That one persona says, I sometimes consider myself a fairy godmother when donating. I bet somebody would love this. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So Michelle says, same. I have things that I treasure and I would keep always that I actually got out of the thrift store. Yeah. So notice that sometimes it doesn't matter where it came from. You can still love it. Yeah. Alrighty. Melissa says, I dropped 6 bags at the thrift store. Yay. I was bad and went in and bought 3 bins. I needed one. What's so bad about that? There's nothing bad. Don't judge yourself. Notice we talked about the fence here, the little line. Judging yourself as being bad, it ain't bad. If anything, that was good. I needed 1 bin and I got it for a cheaper price than going to the Container Store. That sounds good to me. Don't judge yourself. Don't beat yourself up. Alrighty. Dolores says, good morning, new here and love it. You're welcome. And I say that you're welcome and you are legit welcome. Okay? My name's Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach. I show up here doing TikTok lives and YouTube lives pretty much every day of the week, and there's a schedule. There's a schedule, and when I am scheduled, I show up live like nobody's business. But when I don't, there is a collection of over 945 videos that you can watch for free. You can listen to as if it were alive and get some really good info from them when I am not live on the TikToks, because I travel a lot and I'm increasing that. My goal for this year and my continued years is to increase the amount of external travel I do. So that's why even when I'm not here live, I know that I can plop you in front of a repeat and you can still get some good information. Okay? Alrighty. Lake Life Lady says, I'm thinking if there was a rule of how many pieces of one item should I have in my closet. All right, Lake Life Lady, make up that rule. I don't like rules a lot. I'm kind of a rebel, Dottie, a loner. I'm a Gen Xer punk rocker, more new waver actually, but you know, I sat next to the anarchists. And I offer to you, I couldn't tell you how many of anything I have, but the whatever quantity I have feels right to me. So I don't go by number, I go by feel, and I might use a number. Like for example, there are 7 days of the week, and I don't, if I have 7 pairs of underpants and socks and, you know, pants that I can wear again and shirts, if I do that and wear them all, then I do laundry and then I repeat wearing the same things. Could be like something like that. Now I've done this before, Patty. So clothing, yes, clothing Patty is offering. I turned all my hangers backwards yesterday at the season change. And if it's not turned, why not? And maybe it's time to let go. I've done that before and it's worked really well. I suggest you try the same. That you practice wearing the clothes that you have. And if you're saying, if I'm not wearing this, ask yourself why I'm not wearing this. And that may uncover a category you may not have previously been aware of. Okay? Melissa, you're asking, will you be on tomorrow morning? And this is where I like to have you practice the act of checking the secret page. I could answer that. I could fish for you. I want to teach you how to fish for yourself. The answer exists in a place you know to look. So look there. Okay? Now this is fun. Laura Gibbon Voorhees is saying, I'm organizing my rice and pasta cupboard. Just had an organizing win. Okay? I am using my metal mail slot organizer as a cupboard pasta shelf. I can see all the varieties. Yay! Yay! Good stuff. Elle is asking, how much is enough comfy clothes in your closet? As many as fit in your closet comfortably. Okay? Yeah. Jeans, how many is too many, you guys? I know you want me to give you a number. How's this? 2. Notice the number 2. How does that make you feel? Does that make you feel not enough, just right, or too much? I've given you a pin in the map. Now you know that your number is more or less or just right. Okay? I know this sounds like tough love, but trust me, when I started my coaching, I just wanted to be, just tell me what to do and I'll do it. It's not as easy as that, but it's also not difficult. This is not difficult. What I will offer to you all is right now, I can pretty much guarantee this, like Paul Prudhomme in that Cajun commercial I saw once. Notice that whatever number you have now is a number that gets you feeling like it's too much. So I would say count that stuff. Comfy clothes. Count how many hoodies you have. Does that number of hoodies make you feel too much, not enough, or just right? Play the role of Goldilocks in your own home. Okay? So notice that the number you have hits you in one of three areas in your body. Either green, like bing, 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 I hit just right. Or yuck, there's too much. Or ugh, there's not enough. I need more. And trust me, we cluttered people, we are rarely in the I don't have enough. It's really a tension between I have too many, but yet part of me still feels like I don't have enough. Okay? So I'm keeping an eye on the time here, and I'm here to help you. Now this is fun. Kat Roby is tuning in. The top of the laundry machine, again, a clothing thing, is peeking through. I'm able to add my currying shelf by the end. Rock on. Yep. I threw away so many pens and markers that didn't work. Yay, I did that this morning. I put all my crappy pens out in the kitchen so we could kind of use them up, but I want my good pens near my desk. All I have is good pens near my desk. This morning as I was making a shopping list, notice a shopping list is writing down what you want to make it more easy to get it. And as I was writing it, the ink ran out, and I loved being able to be like, yay, this crappy pen is done, and throwing it away. Rock it. All right? Oh, goodness. Entropy. That's wicked funny. I'm sorry. I hope you're feeling okay now. You're laughing and typing, so that's good. I sprayed perfume in my eye trying to see if there was any left. Yeah. Notice how your senses will indicate whether you want something anymore. Does it still smell good? You know? Does it feel good to write with that pen? No, let it go. Right? Now, Lake Life Lady says this, and knowing that we're kind of in my analog clock brain, we're getting up to kind of top of the hour. We have 2 minutes left here. Lake Life Lady, I would love to continue this clothing conversation with you over on the Destination Decluttered YouTube Live that's going to start in 3 minutes. If you're able to show up, we can totally get deeper into that. Okay? Clothing depends on where you live. You're right, Donna. But I will say this as a conclusion to everybody, and I'll make it even more general because you did. Lake Life Lady said the important phrase, I know I have too much. So objectively, you say there is something that is telling me in my body, in my eyes, in the way things are stored in my home, I know I have too much. Overwhelm, love. I am here to help you understand why you have too much. Because when you understand why you have too much and you're hanging on to too much, it might help you. It will help you loosen your grip of fear. And when you loosen your grip, then you can decide what you truly want to keep and feel good about it, and what you truly are okay letting go of and feel good about it. Okay? So just think about that. If you think you have too much in any one category in your home, there is a reason. And when you know something objectively, what's the other word I was thinking of? Kind of like logically, like what is his name? Mr. Spock. Logically, I know I have too much. But then that's the thinker and the feeler. Your thinker knows it, but your feeler is feeling unsafe, fearful of letting go of some stuff. So let's hang out. And with not being afraid, I'm here like, I'd say, I always think of like Hansel and Gretel. I'm here to be with you as you walk through this, but don't worry, we're not going to like a house that's made of cookies and that has a witch inside it. I am helping you holding your hand as you walk towards your destination of decluttered. Okay? So that being said, it's 11 o'clock right now on TikTok. 11 o'clock TikTok. Isn't that like a, what do you call it? A YouTube thing? I could be wrong, but I'm Gen Xer, so there we go. There we go. I have to find, where do I go live? There we go. I'm heading over to the Destination Decluttered YouTube channel right now. Destination Decluttered. Yes, and part of holding on to things is definitely safety. 100% Pamela. Okay? So I am signing off here. I know I've got a whole bunch of you here on TikTok. Feel free to follow me here. But better yet, hop over to Destination Decluttered on YouTube because we're going to do a whole nother hour of this good stuff. Okay? You guys rock.